Hello. I'm Patrice Golden, a teacher at Sardis High School in rural Northeast Alabama. I want to talk with you about the importance of family and community relationships in rural schools, one of the 10 research priorities identified by the National Rural Education Association. Their goal, and mine, is to improve educational opportunities and outcomes for rural students in America. Kirsten Gillibrand, U.S. Senator from New York, believes the future of America depends on the health and prosperity of rural America. Therefore, it is imperative that rural communities provide students with an education that allows all students to learn and thrive. One way we can do this is by strengthening the relationships schools have with families of students, especially those who are disadvantaged or disengaged. It's a big deal because family and community engagement is vital to the success of rural schools. It has a positive influence on student achievement and behavior, which is magnified among low-income children. It must be intentional and include planned coordination between educators, families and members of the community. Educational support, or the lack thereof, has lasting effects on the success or failure of students in rural schools. So, where should we focus our efforts if we want to effectively build better family and community relationships in our rural schools? 3 areas are: 1. Improving school engagement with parents and families, 2. Building partnerships between schools, families and the community, and 3. Providing support for educators to learn strategies to foster family and community engagement. To effectively build relationships with families, schools must look beyond the classroom walls. The social, cultural, and economic needs of families must be considered and addressed. Community partnerships can be crucial to sustaining educational reforms. Community and faith-based groups can often serve as a bridge for families who might otherwise feel disconnected from schools. By sharing the responsibility of providing information, services, and support to students, parents can learn to advocate for their children. Educators need training on how to create effective home and school partnerships and professional development on interpreting and communicating student achievement data to parents. To accomplish this, state governments, school districts, and local agencies need to provide funding. How do we accomplish better family and community engagement in rural schools? What does a map for change look like? Creating effective family and community relationships in rural schools requires change at every level of educational policy making. At the local level, policy change should include setting and communicating high expectations for all families, and establishing resources for them within schools, clear lines of communication between parents and schools, extending academic and education goals beyond the school walls, creating structure that fosters parent and school meetings, especially for at-risk students, and establishing parameters for school personnel to make home visits. School districts need to create paid positions to promote family engagement, identify and use human resources, provide training to families on partnerships, include specialists to engage families, and foster relationships with local businesses and organizations. State governments should establish policies that require family and school partnerships, and allocate resources needed to create them. Establish policies and relationships with businesses and organizations that facilitate partnerships, mandate and provide funding and training for teachers and administrators and make it part of teacher education programs, and create programs that recruit and retain local community members to work in local schools. One thing is certain. Without targeted change, rural schools will continue to lag behind their urban counterparts. It is important that all stakeholders work to create equity for every child in America. If we work together, positive change will ensure success for students in rural schools. Thank you for your support.